Why would it not just attack us and get it over with? I've managed to get myself a randomized copy of Pokémon Scarlet. Now I know what you're thinking, you've probably just used an emulator and you've added mods to it, and now you're using this backstory to get more engagement and narrative and retention. Well, guess again, my friend, because my buddy, who may or may not be a lawyer, has given me some legal advice. Wait. Non-binding legal advice. Regardless of all of that, my copy, it's legit. In fact, to prove how legit this copy is, I'm going to do a hardcore Nuzlocke, because apparently the one thing that holds up in court is Nuzlockes. Objection, Your Honor, I did not commit arson. My Skeledirge died at level 64. Here are the rules, feel free to pause and read them. I'll also put them in the description, just in case you need to refer to them halfway through the run, because I've messed up, and I forgot a rule, and I've broken the rule, and now the run's redundant. So place your bets down in the comments below. Are we going to get it right on the first run, or are we going to need a couple of goes? Whilst you're doing that, I'll run the stinger transition into the video or something. Starters are fun, and boy do we have 3 to pick from, because that's how the game works. A baby legendary, a pseudo legendary, and an artificial legendary, kind of. The only bad choice would be Dino, as it evolves infamously late at level 50, and then 64. Like, we wouldn't even have a Hydreigon at Gita due to the level caps. Out of the other 2, I'm going to give myself the best start, and I'm going to pick Iron What are you doing? I changed my mind, we're picking Kubfu, and even he hates what he just saw. Welcome to the team, Bo. He has an amazing moveset for a starter, and the signature ability of Primal Kyogre. Onto our first randomized encounter, and you might be thinking, if the Pokemon are in the overworld, how are you going to get random encounters? This is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to adjust. Right, I can't see a thing. Ready? Let's go, let's go. I can hear the grass. I'm going to be able to hear when I encounter, but I can't see a thing. Oh. Gen 3 routes. All right, that's not bad. We take that. We take that. The blindfold method worked very well, so meet Trap the Curlier. Trap also knows Dragon Dance, which is really annoying because I'm not going to make a Gallade because it means a duplicate fighting type, so it's kind of wasted potential. Normalize is also a very bad ability in my opinion, because not only can you not hit ghosts at all, you can't get coverage moves, and you don't get stab on any of your attacks. But I guess we can use Thunder Wave against ground types. Yay. Holy shit, is that the Palkia of good advice? Oh, Palkia, please share your wisdom.
Subscribe to Dengar.
Let's not beat around the bush, you know how this game goes. The dragon eats a subway and gets anime powers. It rescues us from the Houndowers who are living dangerously close to a beach, whilst I dangle there and process what in Machamp's left book just happened. The grumpy guy had a fairy, which was nice and easy to deal with. Nemona then looked at a school which we would never attend, but I think she should because she clearly can't count. 2 Pokemon? If that's not a Pokemon, then what is it? A doorstop? We went to school for 1 lesson and never returned. Our dragon is now a bike, and 3 people are fighting over my love. I think I might be a protagonist. The first gym leader has 3 Pokemon, so I only see it fair that we catch 1 more before challenging it. Eevee? Cyndaquil? What? Okay, the Eevee's on the bench. It's a Cyndaquil. That's good, that's good. I would like everyone to meet Socks the Cyndaquil. I forgot to name him at first, but just know that that is named after these. Okay, thanks. Katie sends out Chespin as we lead with Bo. A dual Wing Beat does great damage as Bo resists a Poison Tail. 1 more Wing Beat, it downs the starter. Next up is... Oh, good. Bo rolls out the way, but Wing Beat's damage is problematic. Predicting another Draco Meteor, I switch into Trap, but the bird just cries? I select Dragon Dance as Moltres uses Comeuppance, which fails because it's a Dark-type counterattack. We set up another Dragon Dance, and Moltres goes for another Tearful Look, and then it uses Leer. Moltres can't attack us unless it's with Comeuppance. This allows me to Dragon Dance until we're not only at +6 attack and speed, but the Moltres runs out of Comeuppance PP. I'll be honest, I'll probably one-shot it, but I don't want to take any chances. Once the PP is depleted, I Stomping Tantrum and take it out. Azumarill comes out and it's changed to a Bug type. Stomping Tantrum does about half as they set up a terrain. I go for Bounce because it's slightly stronger, and it turns out the Azumarill has True On. We do get a low roll on damage, but we do get the Paralysis, which does proc, so one more hit seals the win. We tuck into Katie's Sweet Buns before heading over to the east and finding this thing. We decide to kill it because it has some plants our friend wants, and I guess asking nicely isn't really on the agenda.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
The claw fight goes exactly how the claw fight normally goes. Oko'd in the first round, 3-shot in round 2. Arven got his drugs, and all we needed to do was, damage the ecosystem slightly. Can you imagine this situation in real life? Imagine a golden retriever, but it's just like 30 feet tall. An absolute marvel of nature, an incredible fauna. All the experiments we could do to learn about it. Why is it so big? Where did it come from? What is its purpose? But no, a kid just killed it because he wants some drugs. Oh, but then he has a reason for it. He saves his dog. It was so emotional. I cried when I first. Guy kills 5 borderline legendary creatures just to save his boring, lame-ass dog. And yes, I would do the same for my dog, but that's not the point. I gotta move on before I get sidetracked. We're gonna fight Brassius. Oh my god, he's gonna jump. After switching Brassius' corpse out for a concerningly accurate body double, he sends out Arcanine and we lead with Socks. I taught Socks Protect as I thought it would be helpful to scout out whether the enemy has a super effective move, and I'm glad I did because it knew High Jump Kick. Another High Jump Kick connects and takes us down to the red as a Scald does the same to them. We use Protect as the Arcanine crashes and yeah. Out comes Fido and I switch to Bow who resists a Stone Edge and dodges another. Iron Head does great damage and a rain boosted Priority Jet Punch seals the deal. Lastly, out comes Fennekin. Since I remembered the type change, Bow used Wing Beat and just misses out on the KO. A 2-hit Bullet Seed does trivial damage as Bow hits one more Jet Punch for the win. After that gym, I'm pretty sure it's time to get a new party member. Great, let's go. Wow, that was quick. That's Eevee again. We got an Eevee this time, right? There was no other cries at all. It's got to be Eevee. We got an Eevee. We got an Eevee, right? I'm not even going to look. We got an Eevee. It's definitely Eevee. We got an Eevee. We got an Eevee. I wanted to check just in case it's like a Smoliv or something. I don't know. Its ability and moveset are fine, but they're going to change upon evolving anyway, and that is the question of the hour. What are we going to turn our Eevee into? Well, there's only one real option for me to pick. My friend Pixelate helped me get this randomizer up and running, so the Eevee is dedicated to him. I taught it Charm via TM and washed it like a pair of hands in the year 2020. COVID joke. That's what you get on this channel, boys. Outdated comedy. Subscribe for more. Once it was clean enough, Eevee evolved into Pixel the Sylveon. Pixel has the ability Limber, which is a very good ability to have, but the moveset is where Pixel really shines. It now knows Fiery Dance, which can boost our special attack, Power Gem and Dragon Claw for coverage, and Lunar Blessing for recovery. With a moveset like this, the only thing that could stop us would be like a giant bird dropping boulders or something. The Sky Titan, or the Skyton as I like to call it. I've never called it that. In round 1, 2 Power Gems were enough to take it down, and then in round 2, I started with Lunar Blessing to heal both Pixel and Arven's, Scyther. Scyther outrages and leaves the chicken on yellow, so Pixel uses one more Power Gem to kill one bird with 4 stones. This script is shit. Once again, Arven puts some drugs in the sandwich like some unhinged frat bro, and his dog does a thing, I guess. Talking of frat bros, there's an overpowering smell of Axe body spray in the air. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, we did this colossal waste of time and then moved on to the fun part of Team Star, the somewhat difficult Team Star boss. They lead Magnezone and we lead Socks, and we switch straight into Pixel who tanks an Accelerock. Jungle healing does nothing, and then we hit hard with a Fiery Dance. Magnezone tries to heal up, but it's pointless because it goes down to a Pixel who is now at +1 special attack. Onto the car. Pixel takes a Wicked Talk very well and retaliates with a Fiery Dance. Metal Sound reduces our special defense, but it's fine since Snarl and Swift are the only special attacks it has. We exchange blows and then we heal up Pixel with Lunar Blessing and send out Bow. Wicked Talk does minimal damage and we hit with a Jet Punch. The absolute legend that is Bow avoids 2 Metal Sounds and we whittle down the car with Jet Punches, eventually getting the KO whilst on red health. So when I watch people play Nuzlocke, I'm normally yelling at the screen something like, play around the crit, don't be greedy, but you might notice that I'm not doing them things. That's because I am what I refer to as a hypocrite. I've been running for so long and I've narrowly avoided so many things just Please give me a Pokemon. Okay. Is that good? It's not bad. Swordsbuck isn't... Oh, there's Swordsbuck.
How are you?
Ability and moveset are really gonna define this Pokemon, I think. Like, if it's got Truant, go on it. Everyone say hi to my Dinkle. Dinkle has Moxie, so she's incredibly helpful. At least, she did have Moxie, because when a dealing changes season, I didn't know this, but it's gonna change the random ability to another random ability. So now, she doesn't have Moxie, but she just weighs a lot. Good. Moving on, we passed Iono's gym challenge, which had some rather challenging fights, but nothing too drastic. Onto the gym leader herself, and that's not the level cap. Okay, I f***ed up. Okay, so after the gym challenge, I completely forgot about the gym itself. And I just left the town. How does that even happen? How do you forget the gym fight? Who just leaves the town after the gym challenge? How? Do you remember at the start of the video where I said, oh, I'm gonna inevitably forget a rule, and there was a tiny bit of text next to me saying, remember this. Well, I hope you remembered that, because I f***ed it. So anyway, we'll come back to Iono. I guess we'll go on to the next starbase. I guess this was rather trivial, although she tried to taunt us right here, right now. You're going down. Surely by this point I had noticed that I was lacking a gym badge, right? Caught a Noibat. Everyone meet Sharkbait. He's useless at the moment, but he's going to evolve and he's going to be good. Okay, surely now I have noticed Iono, right? It's a big one. We lead with Dinkle, and quite frankly, Iron Tail does a disgusting amount of damage as we hit a mediocre Thunderous Kick, but we do get the defense drop. We switch out to Socks, but Orphan decides to go for a Wrap instead, which is fine. Firefang does huge damage, and a Headbutt puts Socks down to the yellow. It's all good though, one more Firefang sees off the Long Worm. Completely forgetting about Iron Tail, we lead with Pixel. Seriously, I am terrible at this game. Why are you watching this? Arven's Diglett, does a pathetic amount of damage as the worm sets up the sand. Fiery Dance does great damage as I remember Iron Tail. I switch into Bow just in case and it misses with a Wrap. Diglett is nearly taken out and so is the Orthworm thanks to a low kick. Close enough for a Jet Punch to finish off the job. You get the gist of what happened next. Drugs, sandwiches. I skipped off merrily to the next gym. No, not that one. And Kofu was doing his best Dengar impression, running away from his responsibilities. We caught up to Kofu, beat this guy in a battle, and then Kofu was like, yo, spend my money, that's a good test. Ah, you did it, well done. However, the main reason for me being at the market isn't actually Kofu, it's Cubfu. One bidding war later, and we have the scroll to evolve Bow into a beautiful man bear. This will have to wait though, because it was at this point I remembered Iono. What level cap is Kofu? I haven't fought Iono yet. She leads Espeon and we lead Socks. Protect blocks a Poison Fang and we both exchange hits before switching to Bow. He eats a Poison Fang but Jet Punch finishes off Espeon and we take chip damage from Aftermath and the poison. Out comes Out comes this thing, and this is where we terrestrialize to get a bit more damage on a low kick, getting the Oko. The poison keeps ticking as Gothita comes out and we switch into Trap. A neutral Pounce lowers our speed and then Power Gem hits for a small amount. Dragon Dance restores our speed and boosts our attack, so Stomping Tantrum does about half. Pounce does lower our speed again, so we take one last Power Gem, but we do take out that child with daddy issues or something. Iono's last Pokemon is a Fat Squirrel. I switch into Dinkle, who takes a set amount of damage from Seismic Toss. Dinkle uses Sword Dance as Greedent goes for Wonder Room. Kaioken Kick does just under half with a crit, which is awful considering we're at +2 attack. but we do get the defense drop, and one more kick it does get the KO and the badge. Totally fair, totally on time, didn't miss anything, swiftly moving on. Now that our level cap is 30, we do get some very exciting evolutions. As we know, Bo now evolves thanks to the scroll that we got, so we get an Urshifu who unfortunately trades in Primordial Sea, but we do get Steam Engine, so that's not terrible. On top of Bo, Trap evolves into a beautiful male Gardevoir, breaking gender norms. I support them. You do you, boo. We get access to Tinted Lens, which is an amazing ability. We've gone from not being able to do super effective damage with Normalize to not being able to do resisted damage with Tinted Lens. Talk about a glow up. With our new evolutions, it's time to take on Kofu. He leads with Titan and we lead with Trap. An armor cannon does great damage, but high horsepower also does a fair bit due to the defense drop. Trap uses the power of God and anime, smiting down the whale, getting the first KO. Out comes Hypno, who goes down to 2 fiery rafts, and then Kofu sends out a crying lizard as we switch into Dinkle. Sobble does the shiny thing and then makes it rain. I'm not comfortable with that amount of damage, so I switched into Bo and Sobble tries to run away. One flower trick later and the win is ours. It's been 1 Titan and 2 gyms since our last team member, so I think it's about time we grab another. Instead of running around like a headless Combuskin, I decided to go for a random outbreak and catch whatever is there. Or at least, attempt to, because it's a legendary. So how this works is that we got 3 Pokeballs and we got to catch it at full HP. If we don't get it, we... On to the next member of Team Star. Wait a minute. Is that the Groudon of Wisdom? What words do you have to share?
Like the video.
Crazy. The plan is to build up special attack boosts with Fiery Dance, but it turns out the horse doesn't like this because it uses Struggle. We do minimal damage, but that's fine, it's just more chances to get the boosts, I guess, which we don't get. In fact, after the Eerie Impulse, we're now at -3 special attacks because of the Snarls. We switch into Trap, and Inspectria is out of Struggle PP, but the game lets it still try to use it, which it can't, so it just wastes its turn. We switch back into Pixel, this time with a neutral special attack, and the horse is still trying to struggle. Talk about trying to flog a dead horse. Brabbleghast is up next, and that's perfect. And Nightshade takes us down to about half as we get the Oko with a Fiery Dance. Raboot comes out, and this is a chance to boost our special attack even further. After a fake out and a rock throw, we need to heal up, and then we heal up again for free because Raboot misses another rock throw. The only thing we can do now is chip away with Fiery Dance and get them sweet, sweet special attack boosts. Once the rabbit goes down, the car comes out and we tear it into a normal type and get massive damage with Freezing Glare. Out comes Bo, who resists poison and then gets the KO with 2 Iron Heads and a Jet Punch. Apparently beating Team Star's funny because this guy's having a great time. I went into a restaurant to get some lunch, but it turns out it's a gym now. Okay, since our level cap is now 36, we have access to 2 new evolutions which are incredibly helpful right before the gym. Larry leads T-Tar and we lead Dinkle, who is incredibly beautiful, but don't get used to looking at her. I looked at the situation and I thought, you know what, you haven't got a bad attack stat, it's only 4 less than Infernape. Surely you can take out a T-Tar with a 4 times effective Drain Punch, right? The answer is no, not even close. But it's fine because it's not like the T-Tar had Desolate Land and then a very powerful signature fire move to take us out with. How do I predict that? It's fine though, you know what, the show must go on. Out comes Sox, who finishes up the T-Tar with a Mach Punch. And yeah, Sox has Moxie now, so that's pretty good. Silver linings and all that. Larry sends out Baby T-Tar this time, and we use Protect to scout out a move because I'm incredibly paranoid. It's absolutely fine, it's only a grass type move this time. We're gonna stay in, we go for Mach Punch, which deals decent damage. We do get poisoned, but that's fine. We take minimal damage, and then we get the KO with a second Mach Punch, boosting ourselves up to +2 attack. Larry sends out his final Pokemon Tinkaton, and this must be a recurring issue because I really thought this would do more damage. A +2 attack Typhlosion, Terra boosted Fire Fang critical hit leaves Tinkaton on the red, who of course has Primal Groudon's signature move to KO Sox, because why wouldn't it? To finish off the fight, we send out Bo and hit it with a Jet Punch. It cost us dearly, but we did get the badge. Dearly. We lost 2 good Pokemon, but we can replace one of them. We ran into the mountains and we found this little guy. We named him Gimbal and then we evolved him into a Donphan. Gimbal has the Imposter ability, which is going to be very helpful for learning the enemy's moveset and ability. So for this gym, I did make another error, but this time it doesn't jeopardize the run, it just makes my life a lot more difficult. I leveled up to the level cap forgetting that I needed to fight a few trainers beforehand. Due to this, we'll need to split the team into a gym challenge team and a gym battle team. It's not ideal, but rules are rules. We can't risk over leveling. Again. So with half of our team, we dive into the first trainer, and I went hard in on that legendary. I don't want to take any chances. The Pichu then kicks Pixel for minimal damage, and I'm sure you can work out the rest. Trainer 2 has 2 strong flying types, not ideal for bow, so I pop a Protect, which blocks Gust and Burning Jealousy, which hits Pixel for a small amount. Charizard, being Charizard, goes down to 1 rock type move, Jugulis hits a mediocre stomp, and then it's finished off. Trainer number 3 and Rockruff goes down to a Jet Punch as Pixel pulls off a clutch Protect against the Meteor Mash. The 2v1 sees Great Tusk go down, although Pixel is clobbered in the process. We switch out our team and move on to Ryan. She leads with Glastrier and Bisharp, and we lead with Trap and Gimbal. Gimbal turning into Bisharp lets me know that it has access to Noxious Talk. I turn Trap into a pure Psychic type in order to avoid the poison weakness. Gimbal hit the horse with an Accelerock, turning into a Rock type with Bisharp's ability Protein. Trap sets up a Calm Mind as Bisharp falls right into my, trap. It uses a now neutral Noxious Talk, but more importantly, it turns into a Poison type. Gimbal then goes down to half HP from a super effective double kick. Following the free Omni boost, Gimbal does the same thing, and then Trap takes out Bisharp with a now super effective Psychic type Terra Blast. Gimbal is paralysed, and out comes Hypno. One more Accelerock takes out the horse, and then a Fiery Wrath takes out the Hypno. Just a Ghost type Breloom to go, and a +4 special attack Fiery Wrath from Trap seals the deal. From the cold town in the mountains to the hot desert in the west, because we need to slay a big old boy. We lead with Pixel, who takes a Brick Break but then retaliates with huge damage. One more hit gets the KO. Since I can't heal in between stages, we lead round 2 with Trap, who terastallizes and uses Terra Blast. Arven's Tornadus hits a Freezing Glare for decent damage as Trap takes hefty damage itself. No problem though, because one more Terra Blast and Grandpa Gimbal is taken out. One short trip to the south later and we arrive at our next location. Before the gym though, we need to catch a new team member. Oops. Come on. Maybe I picked too big of an area to run around aimlessly. Alright, all of that for a Shinx. That's fine, Luxray's pretty good. After way too long, we found our next friend in the form of Porcini the Shinx. Leveling up Porcini evolves it into a Luxray with the Magician ability. Not too great, AI don't really tend to use held items in this game. The moveset though is rather decent with a priority attack and some good coverage. Onto this lady, and I'm sure she has a name, but I honestly can't remember it at the moment. She leads with Donphan, and we lead with their Donphan had a higher speed, so they transformed before us, which is fine because now we know its moveset and ability anyway. The jet punches are thrown left and right, and then we switch into Bo, who takes one very well and gets a speed boost. One last jet punch from Bo KOs the imposter, and out comes Sasuke. Foul Play is a 2-hit KO even after Ingrain healing, and then Tulip, that's her name, sends out an intimidating never mind. Last up is Talonflame, who we hit with a jet punch. I didn't forget about terastallizing, this was just a part of my plan. Bo takes Gunk Shot very well, and we take out the bird with a Foul Play and another jet punch. Slightly messy there, but a win is a win. How about another gym fight? Well, actually first we gotta do this, which isn't slow and tedious at all, and I completely like it. He leads with Bounce Sweet and we lead with Sharkbait, who's now big and strong, look at him. The small plant was no trouble at all, but Tinkertink has Icicle Spear, so I'm out of here. Pixel comes out and finishes off the baby. Out comes another baby, and we torch it. Finally, out comes Meditite. So much for a final gym. They put on a miraculous light show, but they proceed to do minimal damage and die in one hit. So that's 2 gyms in a row, we're owed a new team member. I decide to travel to a random outbreak because I'm not running around in circles again for about 5-10 minutes, and that's where we caught Trap's uncle Seto. Seto has the absolutely broken ability Moody, which is banned in basically all competitive scenes. If you think I'm not going to abuse this, you're absolutely wrong. The random gods have given me this gift, and I shan't be a heretic. On to Ortega, and they kick things off with a Galarian Slowpoke, and we lead with our new weapon. I've packed the cheesiest moveset imaginable with Sword Dance, 2 healing moves, and Poison Jab. Come at me. We start with Sword Dance, as Slowpoke goes for Pin Missile before we get a +2 defense and -1 speed from Moody. Can you see how broken this ability is yet? We heal up and take another Pin Missile. The Moody gods then smile on us as we're essentially given a free Sword Dance, and we pop another one to get a +6. I decide to gamble the Moody rolls to get some speed boosts by spamming Sword Dance and Soft Boiled. Terra Fighting also allows us to resist Pin Missile, giving us a bit more time. I do this for a long while, getting everything boosted other than my speed. But it's time to move on. Even at -3 speed, we can still outspeed the Slowpoke and Oko it. Now we're at -4 speed, but I honestly don't think that matters anymore. Calyrex comes out and hits a Blast Burn, and we drop it to the red. Knowing it has to recharge, I go for a Soft Boiled. I store 1 turn, hoping for some speed, taking another crit in the process, and we do get a speed boost. Calyrex goes for Mega Punch for no damage at all, and then we finish it off. Out comes Numel, and we take minimal damage and Oko it. Time for Forever Room, and instead of a super effective fairy attack, it goes for a resisted steel type attack, so we can retaliate with a huge Oko to finish the battle. That was messy, but we did it. I don't know why it fumbled at the end there, but we're gonna take that. Not much more to go now, we just have the end game, the Elite Four, 1 more member of Team Star, and before any of that, we have a final Titan. Dondozo round 1, and we lead Porcini, who does respectable damage with a Thunderfang and takes a crit very well. Porcini's taken down to the red, so I switch safely into Bow since we may miss our last Thunderfang and I don't want to risk it. An Aqua Tail does just under half, and a Foul Play finishes off the fish. For now. Round 2, we leave a Pixel as Arven goes into Iron Thorns. We hit a Fiery Dance hoping for a boost, but no luck. Arven's Bug Buzz also has minimal input. Water Pulses, however, although weak, do get the confusion. We do hit ourselves, and Arven still chips away with Bug Buzz. Dondozo continues to attack us despite having a super effective move on Iron Thorns, but that's just fine, I guess. A Lunar Blessing heals us up as Arven is still trying his best. The Dopey Fish finally learns type matchups as we switch into Sharkbait, who chips down the big boy with air slashes. 1 flinch and a Shadow Ball later, and Dondozo goes down. The game forces us to lead with Pixel again, and I didn't know that it heals you, but I'm gonna take it. Muddy Water does huge damage to Iron Thorns, but Pixel's fine other than a bit of dirt in the face. Dazzling Gleam hits for a fair amount, and Arven is actually helpful for what he's got. Another Dazzling Gleam gets the win, and that is the final Titan done. Before we go into the final Team Star member, we have a Pokemon to catch. There is an outbreak up here, and I don't know who it is. I still don't know who. Rotom. Where is it? Hello, buddy. Buddy, where are you? Where? Oh, there they are. Hey, you know what? We'll take a Rotom. We got the flexibility of turning it into the different appliances. So, from the random outbreak, please welcome Stanky the Rotom, who conveniently comes with his own catalogue. Now, we challenge the angry cosplayer. They lead with Corvisquire and we lead with Trap. They waste a Baneful Bunker as we boost with Calm Mind. Expecting them to try again, I go for a second one, but they hit Trap for a small amount with Lash Out. Another Baneful Bunker sees Psychic away, but the second one does get the KO. Next out is Veluza, who survives using Sturdy and then takes out Trap using a super effective Behemoth Blade. Why do they always have super effective signature moves? What can you do? Out comes Sharkbait, who outspeeds and finishes off the Veluza. Dartrix comes out, so you might assume an Air Slash, but we instead pop a Shed Tail and switch into Seto. But then, why Seto when you already have the type advantage? Well, the substitute allows us to safely Sword Dance not once, but twice before it's broken. After that, we Oko the bird with a Poison Jab, do the same thing to the other bird, then lastly use Magical Talk to guarantee an Oko against the car. Easy. I might ban boosting moves next time. So we've officially obtained all of the badges in Paldea. 8 gyms, 5 titans, 5 star bosses, and now there's only a few more fights that stand in our way. Hello? Okay. I need to face our hardest challenge yet. A challenge that could turn grown men into wee baby boys. That challenge is a verbal exam. Nah, f that, let's skip to the battles. Rika is up next, and she sends out Whisk Cash. At this point, I thought the randomizer had stopped, but I decided to switch out in case it wasn't random and she had an ice type move. But no, she went for Sweet Kiss. It is random, it was just a coincidence. So Bo goes for a bulk up as Whiscash goes for a Cosmic Power. A Sacred Sword takes the fish down to the red as Bo avoids a Sweet Kiss again. One more attack puts the fish on the menu. Bellibolt is up and we bulk up again since Bellibolt is known for its ability to take hits. It goes for a Dragon Ascent which does nothing and we clobber it, getting the KO. Palisand comes out with an easy 2-shot with Foul Play. Wuxian would be scary if we didn't have the type advantage. Then finally comes out Cantonian Slowpoke. Foul Play does a small amount as Slowpoke sets up Misty Terrain. I decide to go Shiny Saiyan and use Sacred Sword, which gets the KO and the win. Next up is Child, who leads with Primeape and we lead with Gimbal. The Primeape has a very scary moveset and both monkeys set up a Sword Dance. We both click Axe Kick, however their Primeape does outspeed Gimbal and does get the Oko. That's on me, I should have switched, I should have been more cautious. Out comes Pixel, who tanks a Throat Chop nicely and hits back with a Dazzling Gleam for the knockout. Kricketot comes out so we burn it. Hypno takes a Gleam a bit too well as Poison chips it down. I recklessly stay in thinking we can get the KO, but my judgment is terrible. Luckily, Hypno just goes for a charge and we can finish it off with poison damage next turn. A very flammable Butterfly comes out, but we do need to switch out Pixel. Sharkbait doesn't care for a kiss as we showcase his amazing ability. Lastly for the Child is Rotom as we pop Shedtail into Bo. A Slam fails to break our substitute, so we go Shiny Saiyan and get the Oko with a Terra boosted Sacred Sword. Now this fight is personal. This is for Dinkle and Socks. And also how incredibly difficult it is to sound dramatic when you say the word Dinkle. Larry sends out Venomoth and we leave the Stanky. Venomoth knows Heat Wave and gets the burn because why would it not? Since the Venomoth did a surprising amount of damage, Water Spout doesn't do as much as I hoped it would do. I switch out to Pixel, who takes Heat Wave and a Leaf Storm and then hits back with a fire of its own. Out comes Reboot, who hits very hard and we hit equally as hard with a Freezing Glare. Out comes Porcini, who takes a Double Edger very well and then gets the KO with an Accelerock. Oshawott is next and, yep. Then two Sinnoh staples go head to head as we go for another Thunderfang after the Floatzel boosts its speed. An Accelerock doesn't quite kill and neither does a Razor Leaf. Luckily, no crit. One more priority attack gets the KO and they send out Arboliva, who terastallizes and uses Protect. They don't block anything however because we just switch into Seto and use Magical Talk. It doesn't do as much as I want it to do, especially with the Ingrain healing. Sword Dance does boost our attack but then it's dropped down to +1. Protect stalls a couple of turns but then eventually we take down the Olives. On to Hassel, who leads Persimmon and we lead Porcini. The monkey boosts its evasiveness and we boost our defense. Thunderfang's blocked and Porcini's poisoned. Another double team sees Thunderfang miss, so we switch into Pixel. Dazzling Gleam is blocked and then a second one misses. Baneful Bunker yet again blocks an attack and the monkey badly poisons Pixel with a Poison Fang. And we miss another attack. Baneful Bunker is wasted as we heal up, but then Pixel's hit by a Poison Fang and we miss another Dazzling Gleam. We switch out into Bo, who tanks a Poison Fang and we get poisoned by another Bunker. Sacred Sword hits and does about half as the monkey double teams again. Bunker stalls a turn and then we switch into Sharkbait, who tanks the attack. Shadow Ball takes it down to the red and then it needs to recharge. Another turn is stalled and Shadow Ball misses, but a second one hits the mark and ends the monkey's reign of terror. Out comes Mousehold, so we terastallize and then hit an Air Slash that does over half. Taunt fails due to our ability and then the family goes down. This cute little thing comes out, but then we continue firing off Air Slashes doing decent damage. A charge is pointless as we KO the baby whale with a Bug Buzz. Sinistea is OHKO'd by a Shadow Ball and then out comes Carbink. We switch out to Seto and the now Dragon type Carbink hits with a Poison Jab. Magical Talk does half and then a second one finishes off the rock. On to Geeta herself and she leads out with Espathra, so I have the usual doubt that the game isn't randomized. Shadow Ball does over half and then Espathra hits a worryingly normal move. A second Shadow Ball does KO the bird and then out comes Happiny, so the game is random. It was just a huge coincidence. Again, Air Slash doesn't do too much damage and the egg floats. Sharkbait hits a second and then dodges a Tail Slap. Air Slash number 3 gets the KO. Next up is, well, I guess it's time to get out of here. We switch into Pixel as Dialga shakes its chronological bunda. A second defense drop for Pixel, who does manage to get the special attack boost through Fiery Dance. Stomp does about half and then we get another special attack boost through another Fiery Dance. I refuse to play around the crit and KO the God of Time just by staring at it. Oh, come on! Pixel was putting enough work, so we switch into Porcini and then Giratina sets up a terrain. Flare Blitz does less than I thought, and so does Ice Fang. Giratina reveals that they can heal, so we go for another Ice Fang, hoping for the freeze. We try again, then switch into Seto. Giratina is hell-bent on being at full HP. After a Moody attack drop, we Sword Dance and then get a Moody attack boost so we're at +3 attack. Flare Blitz does light damage as we continue to boost our attack. A +5 attack Seto takes one more Flare Blitz and then slays the dragon with a magical talk. Clauncher comes out and then goes back in. And then Watch Roll comes out and goes back in. Well, I guess we're a champion now. That was easy. Before we jump into the end game, we're going to catch another Pokemon. Unless we get a shiny in Area 0, it's going to be our last encounter. So, who's it going to be? I'm running into walls. Oh, what was that? I still don't know what it is. What is it? Oh! I forgot you were in the game. I've never used one. I caught one in Arceus, but I never used it. Everyone meets Splinus. Why'd I call it that? Look at that face and tell me that's not a Splinus. It has a decent moveset and the Guard Dog ability, so it's not bad at all, but I'm going to box it for now. Arven's up first, and he leads Glalie and we lead Sharkbait. Not really the matchup I was hoping for, so we shed tail into Pixel, whose sub takes an Electro Web. Fiery Dance leaves the floating head on the red, and our sub fades to a Ruination. One more fire move and we get the boost, plus the ball is down. Next up is Sneasler, who gets upper terrain, but then goes down to a 4 times effective Psychic move. Drowsy comes out, so we switch to Bow, who eats a Barb Barrage. Foul Play leaves Drowsy on the red, and then an Iron Head gets the KO. Young Goose, this is simple. Out comes Serena. Sacred Sword is an easy 2-hit KO. Serena hits a Flame Charge, boosting her speed. Since it was a fire move though, Bow gets a +2 to his speed. Nice try. Next up is Arven's Veluza, who I know has Sturdy and most likely a powerful Steel-type move. I stay in with Bow and hit a Foul Play. Ruination does a fair amount, but at our +2 speed, Bow gets the win with just one more hit. I attend my second day of school and I get into a fight with the headmaster. Grumpig and Sharkbait kick off the battle. A Shadow Ball does just under half and Sharkbait takes an attack very well. Bug Buzz leaves Grumpig on the red and then we take it down with one more hit. Bonsly comes out, who doesn't like a Shadow Ball too much, but then the mad lad tries to goad Sharkbait into using it again. Unfortunately, Good as Gold doesn't allow this, so I have to do it manually. Clawitzer is rather scary for Sharkbait, so out comes Stanky, who sponges a Lash Out. A Terra boosted Thunderbolt easily gets the KO. Swalot, however, is going to be a bit more tanky. A Rain boosted Water Spout does great damage as Stanky is forced out. Honestly, fine. A Freezing Glare gets the KO. We could get an Oko on Bagan, but I feel like it's a good chance to fish up some boosts. We get the KO with Pixel on just over half HP and a +1 special attack. Mudsdale comes out and becomes a Fire type. I kinda forgot about Terrestrialization, so Dazzling Gleam is resisted and Pixel once again dances with death. Too close, man, too close. Predicting the Iron Tail again, we send out Porcini, who resists it and then hits with a super effective priority move. Super effective or not though, it's terrible damage. Thunderous Kick does a fair amount, so we switch into Seto, who resists another. Poison Jab does enough for a 2-shot and Seto just lives an Iron Tail. It's looking as good as over until Moody reduces our speed for a second time. I switch into Bow, who doesn't mind an Iron Tail, and then we take out the horse. Not gonna lie, we could have, and probably should have, lost a Pokemon in that battle, but the dice will lie how the dice will lie, what can I say? On to Penny, who leads Fletchinder, and we lead Sharkbait. Air Slash does great damage, and Interruption does next to nothing. Out comes Espeon, who doesn't fare well against the Shadow Ball. Hurricane takes us down to about half, and gets the Confusion. We switch into Porcini, who avoids the Hurricane, and then takes out the Espeon. Inteleon comes out, so we do Terrestrialize Porcini and take a V-Create, which does do decent damage, but it also reduces Inteleon's speed and defenses. After Thunderfang gets the KO, Penny sends out an Eldritch Horror, so we switch into Sharkbait, who does take a Horn Attack. Bug Buzz is 4 times effective, so it does get the KO. Not again! I am so bad at judging damage. Well, that f***ing sucks. Seto comes out and does get the KO. Penny sends out Mew, and then we set up a Sword Dance as Mew goes for Power Split. Moody, however, does raise our attack again. Magical Talk takes Mew to the red, and a critical Aerial Ace does the same to Seto. No speed drop from Moody, so a Poison Jab does knock out the second Mythical. This thing comes out, and I do remember the fact that it terrestrializes, so one Poison Jab later and the battle is done. On to Nemona, and she sends out Scorbunny, who goes down to a Sacred Sword. She sends out Diancie, and we terrestrialize into a Fighting type just to reduce our Fairy weakness, but we do outspeed and get the Yoko with Iron Head. Next up, it's how did you catch that? I refuse to underestimate such a foe, and we use Bulk Up, but despite our defense buff, Raging Bull does a lot of damage. Foul Play does a small amount of damage as Groudon sets up the Stealth Rock. Doesn't seem too wise to me, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. We chip away with another foul play as Groudon hits a spicy extract. It boosts our attack but lowers our defense. I just can't shake the feeling that the Groudon, he's not looking at Bo, he's looking at us. In fact, since the Groudon come out, she hasn't said a word. Why would it not just attack us and get it over with?
Trust me.
The Stealth Rock wasn't to benefit Nemona, it was a message. The Groudon's telling us not to switch. It raised our attack but lowered our defense. It's telling us to hit hard and quick. It's directing us how to win. What do you mean it just had a dodgy randomized moveset? Well, that's embarrassing. On to the end game, and we have one more battle left to fight. Professor Sada. Hold up a minute, before we do that, let's just take a look at this, shall we? Could it be shiny? Is it shiny? It might be shiny. You'll never know. You'll never know if it's shiny. Shall I battle it to make sure? I'm not gonna battle it. I'm not gonna battle it. Oh no, it looks the same as that one. There's Samurots raining from the sky. This is a bit off-putting. I was going to question whether it was shiny, but then a regular one spawned behind it. Palkia is descending from the heavens. What is going on? Space-time is fucked up. Well, right before the final showdown, our last Pokemon joins the roster. Ghidorah, the shiny, backs Caliber. We lead Ghidorah, she leads a Reggie. It sets up the focus energy as we hit it with a powerful Dragon Tail, dragging out Articuno. Pluck does a small amount, and then Diaclaw does a small amount back to the bird. We repeat the same thing, this time getting the poison, and Articuno uses no retreat as we hit it with another Diaclaw, taking it to the red. Pluck takes Ghidorah to the yellow as we take out the legendary. Appleton comes out and we switch into Porcini, who takes a Glacial Spear. Ice Fang takes it down to the red and gets the freeze. One Accelerock gets the KO. Regidrago comes back out and hits Porcini with a Fire Lash before falling to an Ice Fang. Out comes Gibble and we switch into Pixel, who takes the Shadow Ball very well. Dazzling Gleam gets the easy Oko and Sada sends out Squavit. We switch into Bow as Feint does nothing and we get an easy Oko. Sada sends out her last Pokemon, Quagsire. Knowing how bulky this thing is, I use a bulk up and then take a resisted Behemoth Blade extremely well. A Sacred Sword critical hit does get the KO. Sada then semi-terrestrializes herself and sends out Shinx. Shinx is, are you okay, buddy? Does it need like a 5 minute? Oh, it's fine. Koraidon hits a collision course which does just under half as Shinx lowers our accuracy. It then uses Follow Me, which does absolutely nothing, and we leave it on the red. This battle is as good as over, so I decide to go for style points and engulf the kitten in flames, but... What the fuck? Yes, thank you, Penny. I could bloody see that. One more flamethrower does take out that one final hit point, and we do get the win. Do your YouTube thing, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. I'm not going to stop you. Go on, have a go. I'm not going to stop you. Watch. You'll be able to do it. Easy. That's pretty much all I've got for you, so... bye.